Welcome to episode 46 of My Views Extended. I'm your host, Nadia, and thank you so much for tuning in this week. You can listen to My Views Extended, the podcast, at nadiadanella.com. And if you don't want to listen to the podcast on nadiadanella.com, you can head over to YouTube where there is closed captioning. And my YouTube channel name is Nadia Danella. I also have a relatively new cooking channel called Nadia's Kitchen Creations on YouTube as well. And I'm building up my library, currently adding 2 videos per week. So far, currently one kind of dessert baked good recipe and one entree or kind of bread, soup type, vegan, vegetarian type recipe on there. A variety of everything. So head on over if you know someone who's looking for recipes, especially with the holidays coming up. The American Thanksgiving is coming up in November. And so, yes, send them over to Nadia's Kitchen Creations on YouTube. Your shares and your views and your likes are very much appreciated on both channels and, of course, on my blog. And if you have any questions, you can contact me at myviewsextended@gmail.com and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. And I will leave links to all social media sites in the show notes or description boxes. And as I'm recording this right now, I'm actually recording this week's podcast on my tablet, which I've been using for my voiceover for my cooking videos for the last few cooking videos. So I do apologize for the sound quality. I am working with my microphone company, to get my mic issues settled out. I did try quite a few things to figure out what was going on with my mic, and they are not resolving. So now it is on to my mic, and definitely before my warranty is over. So hopefully that gets sorted out so I can either get my mic repaired or get a new mic, and hopefully not at my cost. Let's see. And yeah, I don't know. Some people would say, should I have mentioned my mic problems and just gone on as if the sound quality isn't different? Some would say yes, some would say no. Should I have recorded without my proper microphone? Again, some would say yes, some would say no. But if it's not a holiday or I'm not sick, I'm definitely going to try and do my best to make do with the equipment that I have. It will not be perfect. Not that it was perfect with the proper equipment, but yeah, I'm just going to make do with what I have. And because some people don't have any options and they just can't do it and they just go silent. So I'm using what I have, and that is a tablet for now. Okay, on to this week. I did speak about the Johnson & Johnson baby powder case trials that have been going on. This is another update on that. A St. Louis jury on Thursday, this past Thursday, has awarded a California woman more than $70 million in her lawsuit alleging that years of use of Johnson & Johnson's baby powder caused her cancer. The trial began on September 26th, 2016, and of course Johnson & Johnson is going to appeal the verdict because, I quote, they believe they are guided by the science which supports the safety of Johnson's baby powder. Approximately 2,000 more women have filed similar lawsuits against Johnson & Johnson since the start of the first one a couple years ago. It's the other research that began connecting talcum powder to ovarian cancer. That research started since the 70s. There have been case studies that indicated that women who regularly used talc on their genital area faced up to a 40% higher risk of developing ovarian cancer. The Internal Agency for Research on Cancer classifies genital use of talc as possibly carcinogenic. The National Toxicology Program makes up parts of several different government agencies, and they have not fully reviewed talc. Johnson & Johnson has been targeted before by health and consumer groups over ingredients in its products, including Johnson's No More Tears baby shampoo. The company agreed in 2002 to eliminate 1,4-dioxane and formaldehyde, which both considered problematic carcinogens, from all products by 2015. I personally, when the first lawsuit was in the news, I threw away all of my baby powder. I do not want or need the risk. And yeah, I just wondered, do you still use Johnson & Johnson products for yourself or for your babies? Because, it's very common that we just, especially after their baths, that we just cover their bodies with the stuff. Would you still use it for you and your family, and why or why not? I'd love to know your thoughts on that. Male birth control closer to becoming a reality. Sort of not. A study published in the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology and Metabolism studied 266 married men between the ages of 18 and 45. Of these 266 men, 4 of the participants became fathers, and the birth control that they're using is an injection, and it contains progestogen and testosterone, and that's supposed to lower the sperm count. And side effects of the male birth control injection are acne, injection site pain, and increased libido, all of which seem pretty normal to me as a good or a bad side effect. Depression and mood changes were the biggest factor and actually were the cause of the study to end early. But yeah, many of these side effects will probably not be experienced by the majority of users, but I don't know, critics of the study, including myself, state that you are not stopping, with some exception, 1 egg when it comes to women in birth control, whereas with men, you're having to stop 1,500 sperm with a man. I personally, this is not a chance that I would be willing to take. And I guess nobody's really gonna have to take it because I had to stop the study. So you definitely know if basic beginning studies are not allowed to continue, it'll be a while before we have to worry about that. So yeah, male birth control closer to becoming a reality. I don't think that's gonna happen anytime soon. And they're really not putting the money and funding into having better methods with less detrimental side effects. Because let's face it, mood and depression, they're pretty big factors. The other ones, the pain at the injection site, acne, increased libido, that's kind of for the par when you're putting anything into your body. But anyway, we'll see what happens the next, 10, 15, 20 years? Who knows? Did anyone see the video of the 80-something-year-old couple in Coquitlam, BC? Police were called out after an 80-year-old couple, I believe they were Korean. They refused to leave a tenants meeting. It was reported that a fight had broken out, and somebody from the tenants meeting called the police that a fight had broken out during the meeting. Somebody videotaped it, and police were seen manhandling and abusing the old couple. At one point in the video, the cop and the old people, I think there was a tumble. Both the cop fell, the old man fell. The old man was dragged down the stairs. Just a lot of manhandling and stuff for people who are in the 80s, and they're visibly old. It's not as if they look like they were in their 50s. They look old. I don't know. Should the couple have resisted arrest? No. Should the cops have manhandled and dragged the old people down the stairs, been rough with them? No. Both parties were in the wrong, in my opinion. This is my opinion. Both parties were in the wrong, but the police officers are supposed to be trained to de-escalate situations, or they should be if they were not. I have a question, why were the officers hurrying so much? Being annoyed with the situation does not give them the right to hurry the situation along, especially in such a brutal fashion. They looked like they were twice as big as this couple in size, half the age of them. There was no need, if they had assessed the situation, there was no need for the situation to have escalated so much. There was also a granddaughter of the couple that was there, and she was doing a lot of screaming and hollering, and that probably didn't help. But I think her screaming and hollering and flailing herself at the officers a couple times, that probably irritated the police officers more than anything else. But again, it's not enough for a situation to have turned out the way that it did. Of course, there's going to be an internal investigation. I say good luck in that. On the end of the police, doing the right thing and appeasing the public is not going to be an easy task. And yeah, hopefully we'll have a quick resolution to this. I kind of wanted to start decorating for Christmas and playing Christmas music already. The Canadian Thanksgiving is over. That was October 10th, and Halloween just passed. So I figure, why not? Lights, table settings, a Christmas tree, happy, cheerful Christmas music to lighten up, the gray mornings and the early nights with, the sun setting so early. Why not? Is there an actual time for when the Christmas season starts, or should I just worry about my own house? Don't worry about what other people think. Do whatever puts me in the holiday spirit. Do you have a date that you like to start putting up Christmas decorations around your house, or even when you like to start playing Christmas music? I personally sing and hum Christmas music all year long, especially in the summer months. I don't really know why, but I do notice that for the past, decade or more. I just randomly start singing Christmas music. It just makes me happy. But I'm not a summer person, so maybe that might be a reason why I long for the Christmas season and Christmas, the white Christmas scene. But I guess technically I won't have any more white Christmases unless I go back east, go back home, back east, because out here there's no snow that really stays. And even out back east, it's been pretty warm, and sometimes we don't always get the nice white Christmas. Damn climate change. Anyway, yeah, so what do you do? Is there a time that you do Christmas decorations music, or do you wait until like December? I don't know. I think I might go for November this year. We'll see. Quote or saying for this week: never give up, for that is just the place and the time that the tide will turn. Harriet Stowe. And I totally believe that that is so true, especially when you look back at almost anything that you've done in your life that you've wanted to give up on. It's like, oh my gosh, if I had just stopped, if I had, whether it's if I had dropped that class when I wanted to, if I had not gone and put that job application in, or if I had not gone in, to some event where there's lots of strangers and people you didn't know. If I had not gone and done those things, I wouldn't have accomplished whatever. I wouldn't have finished whatever. I wouldn't have met whomever. When you do give up, the unfortunate thing about when you do give up is you'll never know how close you were or how far away you really were to completing that task or life event, whatever that was. But also, as I'm saying this, I'm thinking, were you actually going to accomplish whatever that was? Or was it your persistence that made whatever you were striving for come to fruition? Like what you put into it, did that make it happen? Or was it actually going to happen anyways? If that makes sense. Sometimes I get too into my head. Anyway, what if you were never meant to succeed at that particular task? Would it have been something that you would never give up on, and you just did it decade after decade after decade, and that tide never turned? That's a question we'll never really know. I think too many questions came out of that quote, but I still think it's a great quote, because for the most part, if you never give up, hopefully that tide will turn. Hopefully that thing, that event, that person, whatever you're striving for, will come to fruition. Never give up, for that is just a place and the time that the tide will turn. Harriet Stowe. What I'm grateful for this past week. This past week, I'm actually grateful for the rain that we're receiving. Actually, and as I'm recording this, I'm hearing the rain pattering on the window. I'm really grateful for that, the rain that we're receiving. It can be really annoying, especially when you have to go out and about and do errands and you're slopping around and it's just wet, and by the time you come back and your clothes are wet and damp. Yes, with the rain, the constant rain, especially the rain that we're getting here on, the BC mainland, you miss a lot of the sun. There's a lot of dark gray skies, but it's been a pretty dry year, especially where I live, so the earth needs it. The trees need it, the farmers need it for their crops, the gardeners need it for their gardens. So many parts of the world are in a long running drought. So I'll do my best not to complain about the rain and just be grateful that I have a waterproof jacket, that I have an umbrella that works, that I have a warm home to come home to and get out of my wet clothes, and make sure that all my outerwear is dry and I can put on warm, dry clothes. Sometimes you got to keep it simple because it is simple. That is what I'm grateful for this past week. Thank you for tuning into episode 46 of My Views Extended. I would love to hear feedback and comments of what you think of this podcast and the topics that I've discussed this week. I love online interaction, so please drop your questions or opinions respectfully in the comment section below. You can listen to My Views Extended at nadiadanelle.com and on YouTube, where you can subscribe, like, rate, and or leave a comment, and where closed captioning is available. I will leave all links in the show notes, and as more listening platforms are added or changed, I will let you know.
Starving, keep them snacking, check your planner, calendar, holy lordy, it's our time now. Our time now. Yeah. We are climbing ladders to success. You can say that them article dudes are up next. I don't sleep, I ain't slept in a couple of weeks. Phone is off, so no calling, no text. On no all in your chest, cause our heart is in this, so it reach where it left. I don't play, feel like all I got left is my God and my gift. Work boots on when I'm up in the booth, clocking in heavy time for the check. It gets hard, but you guessed it. Still got it, yup. Feel good. Mama gon' be smoney dancing on a money mountain with her one and only son. He finally get her out the hood. Used to be a lazy leopard, now I'm just a workaholic. Only get drunk off doing, only get spotted ballin'. Learn my shot from Rollins, need to stop the stalling. Get some ambition while you bored. You need to find what you love to do. It's time to get up on your job. Listen, who gon' take better care of you than you? I done work my fingers to the gristle, to the bone. That was gone cause I never did, but I'm awesome now. Family Oscar proud, bringing more than pennies on the family meals. Cause I work, no slacking, get up and get active, no reacting, be proactive, bro. You know it's time to go. Ain't no lacking, keep it cracking, family starving, keep it snacking. Check your planner, calendar, holy, holy lordy. You know it's our time now. Our time now.
I got infinite potential, a finite amount of hours. Spending every minute, second, living in the present, never missing, sniffing flowers. My attention centered on my breath, relieving me of stress whenever I've been feeling sour like a gummy worm. Every time we burn, we got the money earned. What you mean I need to go outside, see a little light? Sweetie, I'm a vampire and I'm living off of instrumental blood. Pushing keys until my fingers numb. Need major playing, major pain. Player that ain't never playing games till he take his mama to the best designer. When he get there, he gonna just make it rain on her. Nice shades, nice purse, that's all yours. And I gotta buy my dad a large Ford. I'm 28, so he tall boy. I'm a boss hog, ball hog, all cause I used to be a ball boy. Now a ball boy, y'all. Glory to the God that I got inside. All I got inside, man.
No slacking, get up and get active, no reacting, be proactive, bro. You know it's time to go. Ain't no lacking, keep it cracking, family starving, keep them snacking. Check your planner, calendar, holy, holy lordy. You know it's our time now. Our time now. The world don't stop turning for no man, no man. I'm standing, that hourglass gon' keep falling. World don't stop turning for no man, no man. I'm standing, that hourglass gon' keep falling. World don't stop turning for no man,